A new trade deal involving Pacific nations and the U.S. is on the table. In this week's Bottom Line, Neil Melancon looks at how this deal with foreign shores means money for agriculture here at home.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry.
One of the biggest trade deals on the table since the free trade agreements of the previous administration is the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. So far, the deal involves the United States and 10 other countries, with the possibility of adding more, including big players like China and India. The focus in most of the negotiations, however, have been between the U.S. and Japan. The reason there is Japan's high tariffs on imported products, particularly on rice and beef, something we specialize here in Louisiana. The pros of the deal include, of course, the removal of tariffs on U.S. products. It's as high as 40% in some cases, as the system is designed to protect domestic growers there in Japan. This removal would mean about $1 billion more of our ag products going into Japan, which would very likely increase over time. Finally, we would get access to cheaper goods from Japan, such as consumer electronics and possibly cars. The downside of this deal is that in the short term, as we've talked about before, we have a shortfall of beef production here. Prices are already high for beef, and if we open up another market, much less 10 more, that lets our products compete and demand for them will shoot up. This happening right now would mean an even higher cost to our consumers for beef. Second, just like our ag products would be able to compete more cheaply there, so would their products here. That might not be good for our ag industry long term. The bottom line is, right now the TPP is still in negotiations, not only over agriculture, but over intellectual property rights as well. If it can hold off until we can produce a little more beef, we might be seeing a win-win situation for agriculture here in Louisiana. This would be a boon for our rice farmers and our beef farmers, who would have more markets and more fair markets to boot. And of course, AJ, the law of unforeseen consequences is in effect, just like when we saw NAFTA get passed, all that sugar got dumped from Mexico into the United States, something that we had talked about, but became a reality, unfortunately.
Great report. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, that does it for this week in Louisiana Agriculture. Be sure to join us next week. We'll head back to Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen. Until then, you can watch all of our stories from this show or our past shows on our website, twilatv.org. And you can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for watching. We hope to see you right here next week.